So, describe a photo that makes you feel happy.
Well, I'm like I really love to taking photo everywhere I go, every time like with my friends or my family. Whenever I feel good, I love to take photo like my daily life or when I'm traveling. So there's a lot of photos that could makes me happy by look at it, and those photos are mostly like me in the picture looking good and dressed up really beautiful. That was make me that what makes me feel really confident and happy about myself when I'm looking at those pictures that um with me, and like me in the beautiful version. I just feel really fabulous, and it makes me it make my day, like it makes me feel happy all day. And yeah, and some pictures that I take with my friends also makes me feel really happy by looking at it. Like I could like remember our memories through those pictures. It holds a lot of memories, and I could visualize our moments that we've got with each other, and that just makes me feel really really heavy, and that was just really memorable. So that's the kind of picture that I feel really that makes me feel really good looking at it. Describe a place in your country that you are interested in.
Uh, so, uh, it's pretty hard to say because to me, a lot of things in my country is, you know, they are interesting in their own way. But perhaps the one of the things that intrigue me more than the other is probably the old quarter. So I'm born in Hanoi, and I'm proud to be a Vietnamese in Hanoi, and I am really fascinated in the city's history, and Old Quarter is one of the remnants of that past. So, for instance, right, this quarter, right, it's have all the old-fashioned Vietnamese house from the 50s and 60s and stuff like that. It's very old with a lot of uh, traditional store and shops still uh, active. Because it's sort of like a treasure for uh, Vietnamese, right? And on top of that, I am a food lover, right? And the Old Quarter offers some of the finest Vietnamese cuisine you can find, anywhere. And as I say, because it is pretty much preserved for that single, uh, purpose of being a thing that connect the past and the future. Uh, all all the restaurants and store has you know they still use the old traditional recipes and craftsmanship to make those things, and to me I just really into those things. So you get my idea, right? Do you think it is important to be a professional photographer?
Well, I think this, is depends. It depends on your career orientation. It depends on your um your talent and your passion. Um with peoples who don't have the passion of being a photographer, and their orientations or not being a photographer, then it's not too important to be a professional photographer. But with those who have their talent in taking photos, they love taking photos and love to work with cameras, then it's definitely really important for them to be a professional photographer, because it could, like, honing their skills and could use all of their, like, could harness their talented and, like, help them to get a job with their own talent. So I think that really depends on each, like, each people talent and passion. So yeah, do you think people take more photos now than in the past?
I think definitely for I can think of two main reasons. First of all, of course, is the technological advancement. So like back in the day when the days when all the technology, especially in photography, is very primitive. It takes hours to just to produce one photo. Like that typical, very old-fashioned looking, very bulky camera that you have to have a whole blanket over yourself to take a picture, and usually you have to dry the photo for hours for the image to actually appear. So people only takes pictures for very special, and I would say, mm, yeah, you get my idea. Like a very special and very crucial moment, like a wedding or the elder's birthday or something like that. But people nowadays, they have their own phones, right? And that phones can contain thousands, if not millions, of photos, and it's also easier. Just everything just happen at a click of a button, and you get a photo that actually have colors with high resolution. You can, every detail is crystal clear, thing like that. So people take a lot of photos themselves of the nature, of the scenarios, things around them, their meals, something like that. And secondly, it's because like social media, right? People want to, and of course the urge, they want to preserve the moment. So people takes a lot of picture for that reason. Like for example, they want to show off. They want to share all the share their memories, their moments, things in their life for other people to see, and also preserve what they think is special for themselves. Birthday pictures, the first born child, thing like that. So there's a lot of things that plays in, and certainly the present day people takes a lot more photos than their past, like their ancestor and stuff. So do people have different personalities in different region of your country?
Well, I think they're just, yeah, it's probably yes, because I think, like, each regions, they have different cultures and different traditions. So different personalities are possibly could be different between people, even if they're in, like, living in the same environment. um, for example, like, people in Vietnam are usually friendlier than people in Paris, because the different of the traditional and, um, how people react to, how people connect with each other. So this is really, like, yeah, there's some study that point out that, um, your, your personalities and um, your personal identity are really got affected by your culture, your family, and your, your country tradition. So that's really understandable, if people in different regions um, have different personality because they believe in different things. For example, like um, people who some people believe in Buddha, some people believe in God. Is about like the different in the the mm, the things that they believe in, but all those regions are just navigate them to be a better person. So maybe there's a there are some differences between some regions, but all of them just have um, one one goal is to become a better person of ourselves and to become a nice person. Yeah, and one more thing is like people who um who believe in Buddha, they usually like only eat usually be a vegetarian, and people who believe in God is not. So yeah, I think that's how we could describe the differences between those regions. Sorry. Um, what cause the differences between different regions of your country?
Uh, so presumably that the third questions relate to the second questions. Yeah, I think I will answer that. That should do because I think they're related. So uh, the thing that cause differences between other regions in my country only in the you know will only talk about personalities because honestly like architecture cuisine also kind of goes along with the personality of the people and their climate. So but perhaps the third question is related to second question. So yeah. So I will take for example the people from the north of Vietnam and people from the south of Vietnam, right? Uh, People in the north are often viewed to be very old-fashioned, uh, also very elegant in the way they, uh, you eat, they talk, and stuff like that. They elegant, but also have a very cunning side. Like they are very tricky when it comes to businesses. I think it is partially relate to actually it's mainly relate to the fact that they are the capital cities, not in the capital city, right? Where everything is very hustle and bustle. So then, like cunning aspect in terms of like businesses comes from that fact because they have to constantly dealing with buying and selling, export and import things like that, and they have to negotiate a lot to get the best outcome. And on top of that, regarding the history, when most of the time Vietnamese people has always been they have a lot of trouble in survival. They certainly have to develop some trait that help them to be better at like business and so, which is something that gives them shelter and food, stuff like that. And the same can be said for the old fashioned side and very elegant because Han, especially in like people in Hanoi, they are the capital city. So of course their way of living is expected to be they kind of have a higher standard of living when compared to other regions of the country, and the also the influence of Confucianism, Confusion, from Confucius. So they are old fashioned because of that. It can be a double edged sword sometimes, and opposite, you know, and opposed to the people in the north and people in the south, who is very open minded and very friendly, and they are smart people, very hardworking because I think it's related to the also related to history where the south part of Vietnam gets colonized by the Americans, which is a melting pot culture, and they brings a lot of things like uh, what is that again? Like Christianity and a lot of different beliefs into the south because the north is taken by the Viet Cong, of course. So they are very open minded because they get a lot of that trade from the Americans and French, and so on. So yeah, it's there's a lot. What I try to say is there's a lot of things that influence um, the personality trait of different region, but I would say it's mainly uh, because of the geography, so the trading and stuff like that. It depends on that, the climate and the history, whether they are being influenced by what power, what people, what kind of things, and it just play a lot of roles in shaping a region, uh, a region identity. So yeah.